Okay, so let me get this straight. These men escaped jail, had an 8-hour head start, and no one noticed a damn thing. And honestly, I was impressed. Like, genuinely. I was like, oh yeah, they got it. This is giving Prison Break season 1. They're never going to get caught. Until 5 of them got caught in under a week. So basically the plan was smooth, but the execution, they didn't think that through. So today on the Culture Debrief, we're talking about the most embarrassing and almost terrifying jail escape New Orleans has seen in a minute. 10 convicts busted out of Orleans Parish Prison, and this isn't your average, I stole a Snicker bar kind of crew. We're talking about murder suspects, domestic abuse, attempted escapees, literal ticking time bombs, and somehow these men just walked out the jail like it was a simple field trip. What's up, y'all? Thank you for tuning into the Culture Debrief, where we break down the latest drama in Black culture. Because let's be real, if we don't talk about it, who will? So let me set the scene here. It's May 16, 2025, and the guards at Orleans Parish Prison, allegedly, they were vibing because 10 inmates managed to crawl out the cell, sneak through a hole behind a toilet, slide out a loading dock, climb a fence using blankets to cover the barbed wires, and dipped across the freaking Interstate 10. Yes, the highway. They basically did a prison-themed version of American Ninja Warrior and somehow made it to the other side of town without anyone noticing. And you know how long it took for the guards to realize they were missing? 8 hours. 8 Bumba Clark hours. You can fly to New Orleans to London in that amount of time. So now let's talk about who we're dealing with, because this wasn't just some low-security overnight stay gone wrong. These men who escaped, they have a terrible rap sheet. First, we have is Leo Taster, 32 years old, and he's charged with second-degree murder. Jermaine Donald, 43, charged with second-degree murder, aggravated battery, and illegal gun possession. Derek Groves, 28, and guess what he was charged with? Second-degree murder, yes. Lytton Van Buren Jr., 27, charged with second-degree murder, yes. And Antoine Massey, 33, charged with, he was charged with domestic abuse involving strangulation and stealing a car. So yeah, these aren't your accidental weed charge kind of guys. These are men who should have been on the strictest watch possible, but instead they were out plotting like it's Ocean 11 Louisiana edition. So now remember, I said that 10 men escaped, but let's give a warm round of applause to the man who fumbled the bag and just wanted to escape for fun. So we have Kendall Miles caught in the same day he broke out in French Quarters, and he didn't even make it past Bourbon Street. Then we have Robert Moody and DeKent Dennis, both picked up May 16 too. They didn't even make it past 24 hours. Gary Price got caught May 19th, because he probably thought he was safe. And then lastly, Corey Boyd, arrested May 20th, and he actually only had 2 months left on his sentence, and he still risked it all. So let me repeat that last one. Corey Boyd had 2 months left. 2 months from freedom. And now he's looking at a few extra years plus a criminal genius F on his record. And it wouldn't be a fairy tale without a few accomplices. Enter the maintenance man, Sterling Williams. He said one of the inmates threatened to stab him unless he turned off the water to the cell. And he just did it. Like, sir, you're a grown man and you meant to tell me a prisoner threatened you and your first instinct wasn't to call for backup, but to help them sabotage the plumbing system? Now, Sterling is facing 10 counts of helping with an escape and malfeasance in office. And he's also on a $1.1 million bond. You should have called in sick, my guy. Oh, and shout out to Courtney Harris and Corvante Baptiste, the 2 women who allegedly helped feed and transport some of the fugitives. They really brought snacks and an Uber ride for the fugitives. Like, this is crazy. So after all of this, Sheriff Susan Hudson basically got up in front of the mic and was like, yeah, we messed up. No security alarms, no cameras that picked it up, no guards noticed. She even suspended her own re-election campaign over this. She said, instead of campaigning, I'll be investigating. As you should, sis, because the public trust, it left the prison faster than those inmates. So let's be clear. This whole thing is funny because how chaotic and unprofessional it was, but it's also dead serious. These are 5 dangerous men who are still out there. One of them had already tried escaping once before and failed, and now he's back at it again. So he learned from his mistake, and I think he's doing his best not to get caught. So I still want to ask you guys these questions. Who do you think is going to be the last one to get caught? And who might just disappear for good and live off grid somewhere in the swamp? Because at this point, your guess is as good as the NOPD. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I talk about Black news all the time, so just watch me and support.